All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chapter 2.4, Advanced Algebra, Write Equations of Lines. First, just a review of the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Remember, m is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. Again, the y-intercept tells us where to start. And you always start on the y-axis, obviously. And the slope tells us where to go. All right. The formula we're going to concentrate on today is called the point-slope form. In this situation, we need the slope, and then we need an ordered pair. So in this case, you can see how it's set up. We've got y minus y1. y1 is coming from the ordered pair, equals the slope times x minus x1, which is coming from the ordered pair. All right? Now, you are going to have a mastery quiz, I believe mastery quiz number 4 on point-slope form. All right, let's move on. Actually, let's add to this. Sorry, let's not move on yet. Okay, in our last lesson, we talked about the standard form. And remember, the standard form is ax plus by equals c. And we're going to convert equations back into standard form as part of the lesson today. All right, the first thing we're going to look at is a graph where the line is already there. So the first thing we need to do in this situation is identify the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept is right here at 2. And then identify the slope. Okay, well, the slope, we got to look very carefully at where it's crossing the grid lines. So in this case, it's crossing the grid lines. If I follow the line, it's crossing the grid lines right here, right here, right here. So I see that the pattern is down 3 over 2. Down 3 over 2. So the slope is negative 3 over 2. So our equation is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 2. And just to review, how do you write the y-intercept as an ordered pair? Remember, the x value is always 0, and then the y value is 2. Now, one thing we want to practice doing is going in the other direction, taking this equation and put it in standard form. Because you're going to be asked to do that several times on your worksheet and in your book work. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the denominator. I do not want fractions. Okay, so just like in Chapter 1, we learned how to get rid of fractions by multiplying by the least common denominator. Okay, I'm going to multiply the whole thing by the least common denominator. And the least common denominator, it should be obvious, is 2. By doing that, we're going to get rid of the 2 down here. But remember, multiply everything by 2. Because we want, when it's in standard form, we want the a and the b and the c to be integers. All right, so this is what we get. 2 times y is 2y equals 2 times negative 3 over 2, that's just going to be negative 3x. And 2 times 2 is going to be 4. All right, so we got rid of the fraction. Now, to be in standard form, remember, it's got to be ax plus by equals c. So that means we need to move the x to the other side. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. And I'm done. I've got 3x plus 2y equals 4. So that's the standard form of that equation. And that's the standard form for the line that you see graphed. All right, at any time, if you need to, you can pause or rewind it and listen to it again if you didn't catch it the first time. All right, let's do another one from the graph. Here we go. So in this scenario, our y-intercept is 1 to negative 3. Again, follow the line and look at where it's crossing at the grid line. So it looks like it's crossing here, 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 and so on. So it looks like the slope is up 2 over 1. Or just plain old 2. So our slope-intercept form would be y equals 2x minus 3. And again, our y-intercept as an ordered pair would be 0, negative 3. Okay, we're going to now put it in standard form. Okay, less work with this one because we do not have a denominator. So all we need to do to put it in standard form is move the 2x, so subtract 2x from both sides. So we end up with negative 2x plus y equals negative 3. It is now in standard form. All right, let's get to that other formula, the point slope formula, and let's see what's going on there. All right, so point slope form again is y minus y1 equals the slope m times x minus x1. And again, the x1 and the y1 are going to be an ordered pair. So find the slope from the 2 points given. Okay, well, obviously, we're going to have to use y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We're going to have to use the slope formula to find the slope. Next, use the point slope form with either given point to write an equation of the line. So either means you pick one. We're not going to use both. We're just going to use one of them. All right, here we go. And again, this is going to be on Mastery Quiz number 4. So first thing we're going to do is find the slope. So the slope is going to equal. I'm going to go negative 3 minus 1. And I'm going to go 2 minus 3. And that looks like it would be negative 4 over negative 1, which becomes positive 4. Always, always, always simplify. All right. Then I'm going to rewrite the equation so we can see the numbers getting plugged in. So let me rewrite that. So y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Here we go. So now we're going to pick one of the ordered pairs. We can either pick this one or we can pick that one. It does not matter. I'm going to pick the first one. All right? So the y and the minus sign are going to remain. And then the y1 I'm going to replace with the 1. The slope I just found, okay, the slope is the 4 that I just found. The x is going to stay there, and then minus, and then my x value is going to be the 3. Now, I want to put this, I need to simplify it, put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, that means I need to get y by itself. All right, so it's going to take a couple of steps. Step 1, we need to get rid of the parentheses. So we've got y minus 1 equals distributive property for x minus 12. Okay, one more step. Get rid of the minus 1. We're going to add 1. So our final answer is y equals 4x minus 11. Now, I can check this answer with the calculator and I can verify if those two ordered pairs are indeed on that line. So we go to our calculator. Again, we can go to our y equals and we can type in the equation we just found, 4x minus 11. Then you can go second and then hit the graph button, which is the table. Now, let me go back to this other screen here for a minute. So we've got the ordered pair 3, 1 and 2, negative 3. Well, let me go to the calculator. So 3, 1 is right there. Okay, 3, 1, and the other one was 2, negative 3. Yep. So right here, I can verify that that equation is correct. Again, I typed it in my y equals. Then I went second graph, which is the table, and I can see that those two ordered pairs are in there. All right, I want to do one more thing. I want to change this now back to standard form. Okay, well, it only takes one step. Remember, standard form is, again, the ax plus by equals c. All I need to do is move the 4x to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 4x. And so my standard form is negative 4x plus y equals negative 11. Okay, let's move on to another example. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it, rewind it, etc. All right, in this problem, I'm given a point, and I'm already given the slope. So I don't have to find the slope. So I can jump right into the problem. All right, so I'm going to replace the y1 with 5. The slope is going to get replaced with negative 2. And the x value that I use is 1. Okay, I'm going to simplify this, write the equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to first distribute. So I've got y minus 5 equals negative 2x plus 2. I'm going to add 5. So y equals negative 2x plus 7. Slope-intercept form. Okay, standard form. Well, one step. Move the negative 2x to the other side. We're going to add 2x. So 2x plus y equals 7. Okay, I'm going to skip the next example and go to, I've got two more examples to talk about. We need to go into parallel lines again and perpendicular lines using this. All right, so I'm going to skip this one. Okay, skipping, and let's go to this one. All right, it says, write an equation of the line through negative 2, 3, and parallel to y equals 4x minus 6. Right, the first thing I need to remember is parallel lines have the same slope. So that means my slope is 4. All right. So I've got everything I need. Okay, my y value is 3. My slope is 4. And my x value is -2. Now, something you need to notice is there's a minus, a negative. Don't forget to change that to a plus positive. Okay, I'm going to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So again, I'm going to follow my steps. I'm going to do the distributive property. One step left, and I've got it in slope-intercept form. I'm going to add 3. And there we go. So these two lines, they are parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. So what I can also do, just to show you on the calculator, I could put both equations in. So I could put in the 4x plus 11. And I could put in the 4x minus 6. And remember, if your calculator, if your graph is not set up correctly, you need to do zoom 6. And you can see that they are parallel. So you can double check it, make sure it looks parallel. All right, so remember, parallel lines have the same slope. One more example. All right, perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular lines are going to have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. All right, so if they're so here's the slope of this line. To be perpendicular, the slope of the other line is going to have to be a negative 1/4. Again, opposite reciprocals. All right, so now I can plug my numbers into my point slope formula. My y value is 3. My x value is -2. And my slope for this one is -1/4. Because it's perpendicular. All right, just like we did before, we're going to distribute. Okay, and -1/4. And again, this becomes a plus positive. So -1/4 times 2 is going to become negative. This one either can be a fraction or a decimal because it's the y-intercept. I'm going to make it a decimal. Would be 0.5. So minus or -0.5. Okay, one more step. We're going to add 3. So we end up with y equals -1/4 x plus 2.5. So now these two lines should look like they're perpendicular. Okay, I said should. They are. They are perpendicular. But when you look at the graph on the calculator, they actually might not look perpendicular. Because remember, perpendicular is 90-degree angles. So I'm just going to show that to you. So again, I can go to my y equals, clear out what's there. So I'm going to type in the 4x minus 6 and the negative 1/4 x plus 2.5. I'm going to graph it. Now, they don't quite look perpendicular, but they are. And what you need to be aware of is that this screen is not a perfect, it's not a square screen, it's actually rectangular. And the pixels, there's more pixels going left and right on the screen than there is up and down. So that they are perpendicular to each other because the slopes are opposite reciprocals. But just be aware, it might not look like they are, but they are. Now, if we graphed it on graph paper, we would definitely be able to see that they are perpendicular. All right, I believe that's it. Let's check the next slide. And yep. So you have the worksheet to work on and get done and turn in for the next class. All right. Thank you.